Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you with another edition of Stout Sunday. And joining me this morning, we have Michael Kormaroff from Brooklyn, New York. Good morning, Michael. And we have Ronald Terrio, the one and only Mr. Louisiana Beer Reviews himself.
Good morning.
Welcome, Ron. Thanks for joining.
Welcome.
So I will let Michael go first and tell us what he's got.
Okay, this, as I was saying before, is my last North Carolina stout that I got from my cousin. It's from Wise Man Brewing of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's called Merry World. It's a breakfast stout at 6.6% and 40 IBUs. And I haven't had anything from this brewer, so this will be the first time. And from what I've done so far with the North Carolina beers, I'm extremely happy. And this one hopefully will be as good as the other ones we've had. And try.
All right.
Okay, I have, I'm sorry. I had to go, my glass needed to be wiped. I have the Guinness Extra Stout, just like you do. And it's
Right. We both have the Guinness Extra Stout. These tough times call for, you know, the tough beer selection as well with these trying times.
Yeah, I don't know the IBUs.
I don't think they're listed anywhere. I couldn't find the IBUs anywhere. They finally started putting the alcohol. It seems like Guinness has not really been one of those companies to put the alcohol on the label, but they do have it on this label. It says 5.6 right there. It used to be 6%.
I think it used to say 6, but it was in a Canadian brewed version contract.
Right. Now, Michael, since your North Carolina beers for the most part have been older, does that one happen to have a date on the label?
This one does. It has the date, and let me see. I did write it down. I could look at the can, but I wrote it down. It's the date on this one was 12/3/19. So we're talking about 5 months old.
Okay, not bad.
That should be really good, I would think.
All right, there.
Mine is from December. Mine is from December 2019.
Mine has
now I'm spilling it.
some kind of code on it. I don't know how to interpret that.
It'll say it'll have the 9 or you can
This
figure
was,
out either that.
this was really an interesting stout when I poured it. Take a look at this.
Oh wow!
It had a head. It had a head. It did have a head at the beginning. And what happened is you've seen these kind of beers. It has a head, and then 20 seconds later,
Gone.
It went to no head.
Yeah.
It was like bubbly, and the bubbles all went away, and now there's no head at all. So
Got that soda, really fizzy, quickly dissipating head. Yeah.
it looks like more of it looks like a Coke right now, like Coca-Cola, a little bit darker because it's Coca-Cola is lighter than this. But it,
All right. Well, here's the Guinness Extra Stout. I'm sure Ron's is similar. The head on this one's actually sticking around. Nice traditional stout appearance. You can go ahead and get right into it, Michael. Let us know how that beer is.
let me show everybody who's watching in YouTube land. That's what it looks like in the glass.
Weird looking.
As of right now, there is 0 head, but it did have a beige head quickly, and then it just kind of bubbled off. Whatever. Let me give it a nose. Okay, pretty typical roasted malts on the nose. Let's see if I can get something else. Maybe some underlying coffee as well. Dark chocolate. But these are more background. The roasted malts seem to be the strongest smell I'm getting. Let me give it a taste.
Cheers, Michael.
Cheers.
Cheers to the world.
Okay. The taste follows the nose. Roasted malts. You're getting some dark chocolate notes. Coffee. The carbonation is interesting. It's by no means flat, but maybe a little more carbonation would make it better. But there is carbonation here. In other words, the fact that the head went away wasn't, I don't think, due to carbonation issues. There is carbonation in this.
Some beers just do not retain a head, and it'll still have prickly carbonation, you know.
Well, the carbonation, a lot of people don't realize carbonation is separate from the head. A lot of times the head, most of the time, is due to the yeast, is from the yeast that they're using in the beer. It causes the different, the varying levels of head.
Now, when I did top off, you can hardly see it because it's just on the top. When I just topped it off, the head regenerated a little, and then the same thing happened, and it diffused. So obviously it's that kind of beer where it's not going to maintain a head, which really doesn't lower it or whatever. It's just expectations. A lot of times you kind of like a head, but it's not something that's necessary. Let me take another sip. Carbonation is fine. I'm enjoying this. It's only 6.6, so it's not what you call a big beer, and yet it goes down like a session beer, like a 5% beer, so it is covering the alcohol a little bit. I'm enjoying it. I don't taste any of the bitterness. It's 40 IBUs, so you should be able to maybe taste more bitterness, but it's got an edge to it, which I guess is the bitterness. I'm enjoying it, and I'll have a number for you shortly, everybody.
All right. Sut in the chat says a Miller looks better. Well, appearance-wise, I probably have to agree with you because that the appearance of Michael's beer wasn't the best in terms of, something you'd want on a beer poster or ad. But it sounds like it redeemed itself with the taste there. So we'll come back around to you shortly. And Ron, go ahead and take over with the Guinness Extra Stout. I'm actually excited to try. I haven't had this in a while. So I'm very excited to drink this. So go ahead with your interpretation of the Guinness Extra Stout.
Okay. Besides being beer fans, we all three have something in common. We wear glasses. Secondly, we like stouts. Hey,
it's true.
One problem with it not being contract brewed in Canada anymore is that it used to be 6%. It's dropped to 5.6. No big deal. But it used to be a 12-ounce bottle. And I noticed when it went back to Irish production, it dropped to 11.2. So every time I drink a bottle of Guinness now, I'm losing 0.8 of an ounce. And I don't like that. I don't like that. All right. It's dark brown. There's some reddish brown as the sunlight hits it. There's not much head, but this is not really a proper glass. For Guinness. The aroma's dark roasted malts. There's like cream. No cream in it, but like cream if you put it in coffee, and dark cherries. Now, when you think about those descriptors, when you drink the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, it's going to be more pronounced roast, more pronounced dark cherry. Like all of that is bolder. But I can't get Foreign Extra Stout in my town at all anymore. And I'm not going to go drive and find it. Flavor, it's pretty dark roasted, but it's just at the cusp of being burnt. And these really good brewing companies, you ever notice they can get it to that level and they don't go overboard and burn it. A few times, like with Samuel Adams, I had their black lager and it tasted burnt. It was like they didn't know when to call it quits on the roasting, Well, that was a long time ago. I'd have to revisit it. The body here. Hold on a second. Go to you, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Yes, you're back home.
John, you could either start on yours or I could make further comments on mine, whichever way you want to go.
I can go ahead and give a quick rundown of mine since Jay and I are drinking the same beer.
Okay.
Actually, here he's back.
Sorry, my father was calling me to tell me that he, people never call me unless I'm trying to do something. But my father was calling me back to tell me he was back home. He came over here this morning, so.
Wanted to let you know he was safe.
Yeah, he wanted to let me know he was safe. So I took the call, and he said, "Okay, well, bye." The body's kind of medium, not thin, but at the most medium. This is not a heavy beer. People will talk about how Guinness is so thick you can stand a spoon up in it. Wrong. Got a little echo going there, John. And I notice sometimes if John has an echo, if he mutes himself for like 20 seconds and comes back, then it goes away for a long time. I don't know why. Some kind of system issue. The finish is medium dry. It's enjoyable. I mean, it's one of the classic beers in the world. Now there's some lacing coming in on the glass. So you can get a 6-pack of Guinness at Walmart for $8.99 or less, sometimes $8.69. That's a great value because I find that Guinness can go toe-to-toe with most craft beers. And some people get angry if you say it. But I'm sorry, I always say this, like my friend David told me yesterday, don't you always say to call it as you see it? He says, as you taste it? I say, yeah. So I'm calling it as I taste it. I think it's a great beer and it's a great value. And what's the deficit in it? What's wrong with it? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it.
I agree with your assessment. It's definitely roasty, not quite to the point of being charred, but it's borderline. So they roasted it as much as they could without overdoing it. They've got that formula just right. I do prefer the Guinness 4 and Extra Stout. It's a little bit more malty, less bitter. Obviously, the higher alcohol as well. This one, though, if you're looking for a standard alcohol stout, 5.6%, you're right in that ballpark. Look at the nice head retention. I mean, it's just a pretty beer. It's roasty. It's toasty. It's malty. It's got some good bitterness to it. I wish I knew what the IBUs were, but it does have a good bitterness. A lot of it could be coming from hops, but I think what I'm picking up on is the astringency is coming from the really dark roasted malt. It gives it an additional bitter component. A little bit of dark chocolate in the middle. It's not sweet though. The 4 and Extra Stout has a little bit more sweetness, more maltiness. It's not a very sweet stout. It's medium bodied. Carbonation's light, getting up close to medium, but it's not anywhere. It's not really heavy on the carbonation. It's a winner. It's a classic, like you said, Ron. It's one of those beers that when people think of a stout, Guinness has got to be one of the beers that pops into people's minds, whether you drink beer or not. I mean, Guinness is just such a widely known brand. The Guinness harp there. I mean, anybody that sees that is gonna know exactly what that is. So, a lot of tradition for good reason. It's a wonderful beer, and I'm gonna give it high marks. It's not my favorite Guinness product. I do like the 4 and Extra Stout. That's my favorite of the lineup, and I have tried the Bullet Bourbon barrel aged one, courtesy of David Garlapede. I haven't had the Antwerpen. I have had the Over the Moon now. That one's good. They're all winners though. All of the Guinness stouts that I've had are all winners. So,
and there's some we haven't seen around here lately. So I'd like to, or at all, I'd like to see some of those. But you get what you can get, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks to Ronald Sutton, Craft Beer Pours, Dr. Frosty Brew for being with us this morning. We got Kyle. Kyle, you want to join with a Keystone Ice? Get on in here. We got plenty of panel space. Kyle says his Keystone Ice is stout.
We're still waiting.
It's a stout.
Keystone to come out with
stout lager,
right? Keystone should come out with a stout.
They should. Keystone, Keystone Stout.
Well, they did make one. And because it's Coors Brewing Company, of course, and they made something called George Killian's Irish Stout. But that lasted about a week. I liked it a lot. I thought the George Killian's Irish style stout was really good, but it was like here today and going tomorrow. And most people said they never even saw the doggone thing.
We never saw it here. I would have bought that because I do like the Killian Red. I thought that was a pretty decent beer too.
Yeah, and it was Killian's Irish Stout, Irish style, because it was made in America. And I was saying, "Oh man, this is really nice," and then
goodbye. That's funny.
So, yeah, I had 1 6-pack. Went to buy more. Same thing with Bass. You know Bass Ale from England.
Yeah.
There was a Bass Stout around same time, 2012, and then they were talking on the label how you could make a black and tan. It was like buy a 6-pack of Bass naturally, and a 6-pack of Bass Stout. You pour it over a spoon and all of this, and I was all geared up for it, talking about it, excited, getting thrilled, and it was gone forever.
All right. I'm trying to type in here to see if Kyle will join with this Keystone. Kyle, you're welcome to join with the Keystone Ice. We got a small group today.
I'm glad you're ready to do that.
At Keystone Ice, and
I'm glad you're letting me do that because now
I know I have done this audio visually before since Ron mentioned the black and tan. I have my apparatus here, my Guinness Harp Smitting glass with my little deal. Again, I don't use it for that, but you know, you can hook together your black and tan, letting it through this little spoon. And
hey, John and Neely, we might forget. We better. That's cool. We better do the scores for. We go too far, I think.
Well, yeah. Now we got to go back around here, Michael.
okay,
What are you thinking for your
as
around the or Wise Man Mary?
As this warms, I'm getting more of the bitterness, which I think in this case is a good thing. It actually, you know, I was considering what I was going to give as a score, and as I drink it, the 40 IBUs are coming through in the finish, and it gives it kind of a nice bitter finish. The malts coming through. So I am going to give this a 92, which is it's an A heading toward A minus. It's not a solid A, but it's quite good. And obviously I don't have access to this beer, but I would drink more of it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good breakfast stout, and I would recommend it.
Okay. Ron, Guinness Extra Stout. What do you think?
Well, I think I'll probably give it an A, a 96. And I give the Foreign Extra Stout the Foreign Extra Stout 98.
Okay.
And later in this broadcast, remind me, and I'll show you a New York State specialty wine that I was able to buy yesterday.
Ooh, all right.
Here to see it. I mean,
absolutely. We love show and tell on Stout Sunday. All right. Well, I'm going with a 94 out of 100. I initially gave it, I think, a 97 when I first reviewed it, maybe a 98, but it's lower. It's dropped just a little bit because of all of the wonderful stouts that I've had over the years. That doesn't take anything away from this beer. It's an excellent beer. It's definitely good for beginners because it's easily accessible. The alcohol is you know, it's not too high. It's not going to really throw anybody off, I don't think. The flavors are on point with what you can expect to get from a traditional stout. If you don't like Guinness Extra Stout, then you probably don't like stouts. I think that's probably the best way I can put it because it embodies everything that a stout should.
now, when you think of stout and Guinness in Ireland and going to a pub, which people used to do that in Ireland. They don't go to pubs anymore because they can't leave their house. But they would drink that big glass of stout. You know, you see that on President Reagan going to Ireland and drinking stout. But the one they're drinking is 3.8%. 3.8.
Right.
We're getting something that's not on tap in Ireland.
I have a question which I'm not sure either of you can answer. The Guinness facility that's in Baltimore, do they brew any of what you're drinking now? Or does that all come from Ireland?
So Ireland. Guinness in Baltimore mainly does specialty beers like Old
Well, they
Stock.
do the Over the Moon.
Over the Moon, which John did a couple of weeks ago.
They do the Guinness Blonde now, right? The Guinness Blonde is brewed there.
Baltimore Blonde, they renamed it.
Oh, did they? Did they really?
Yeah, with a Baltimore flag on it. It's got the flag of Maryland. It's got that checkerboard Maryland flag, and it's called Baltimore.
I have not seen. We're still getting the old Guinness Blonde here. I guess they haven't.
Yeah, it's called Baltimore
Blonde.
Blonde.
Get rid of all the old ones first.
It's called Baltimore Blonde. I'm going to have to buy a 6-pack so I can put it in my collection with all the others.
Huh. Okay. I'll have to keep my eye out for that. I hadn't seen. They still have the old Guinness blonde lager bottles and well, not cans, just bottles with the kind of label, similar color label to this. It just says Guinness Blonde, and it's got the bird on it, or not the bird, the
toucan.
The toucan. It does, yeah.
Which is a bird. Which is a bird.
Which is a bird. So yes.
Hey, I can show you the wine, and I can show you some new Dixie beers I got.
Ooh, all right. That's right. The brewery reopened down there, so the selection is improving. Yeah, go for it. Let's see what you got.
Okay, hold on.
And Kyle says, "Fine, I will." So I'm assuming he's going to join with his Keystone Ice.
It's an ice brewed ale. All right, here we go.
John, did you ever try the Guinness Nitro IPA? Which is, I don't know if they've reached again.
I did. I don't think they had. I tried the Nitro IPA, and I think there was one other beer like that they made. They didn't last. There were two. Neither one of them lasted. But yes, I did get to try it. I think I actually got a chance to review it on my channel before they discontinued it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. A lot of people complained that the Nitro, the weird mouthfeel from the Nitro widget was not appropriate for the style. But you see IPAs now, the New England IPAs, all these IPAs that they add lactose to them now. So
I see. We did, Doug and I, Giant Space Monkey and I did it at one of the beer tastings, and we decided that it didn't up the IPA taste with the widget, so we didn't like it. But again, I understand as long as it doesn't affect how you feel about it, and obviously, like you say, since then it's gotten weirder. So maybe it wasn't as weird as it seemed at the time.
Oh, looks like some kind of MD 2020 something or another.
Here's a New York. This is made in Westfield, New York, in the Finger Lakes region. It's only available for the year 2020 for a limited time only. If you get on their website, they have a calendar counting down the seconds that it's available, not just the minutes, the actual seconds. And it was introduced in early 2020. And I bought it, and it's called MD 2020 Gold.
I like the label. Very festive.
With all the glitter. It's because it's 2020 in 2020. Get it?
Right.
We're fast on the update.
It's the only time 2020 will be sold in 2020. And it's got a pineapple with dollar signs on the eyeglasses. It's a limited edition. It's exclusively for 2020. And it has no added coloring. It's natural flavors, and that's the natural color, which is like pineapple juice mixed with grape wine. And that's what you would get. Chalky gray.
Very interesting.
I did a review last night, but I'm going to reshoot it. I didn't like the way the review came out, but woof.
Good morning, Kyle, not Kyle.
I don't know if this is a stout, but
it's a stout lager. A stout ale.
Seltzer.
Oh, the seltzer. Okay, well, it's 6% alcohol, so it's stronger than the actual stout that I'm drinking.
Well, I got this.
It's a stout.
I got this too. If you guys want it.
He has the standard Keystone as well.
They're stout compared to water.
Nice.
Whoa! I don't know what's a stout. Is that just
a dark ale
beer?
Never seen that before, Ron.
Just hit the market. Yeah, just hit the market
in my life. sorry.
Well, I mean, it just came out. It just came out this past week, and it's made in New Orleans. It's 5.9, just like the Keystone Ice.
Oh, that's the Dixie beer. The Dixie. That's what the D stands for. I'm guessing. Dixie Ice.
Holy
Right.
Shit,
Wow.
I've never seen that.
And the dice are reading 45, 4 and 5, because there used to be a beer brand in the 1960s called Dixie 45 brand. So it's harkening back to Dixie 45. Now here's a few more. I'm going to go fast. And then I'm going to shut up.
The Black and Voodoo. Yes. Good stuff.
Introduced in 1990. It's a Dunkel, which you know where I'm going to use that tomorrow night.
Bumpy.
Ah, okay.
Yep. Then here's 3 new ones that just hit the market.
Lil IPA Voodoo. Ooh, okay.
I can't find that much stuff.
We can't get Dixie at all here, Kyle. I don't get regular Dixie, Black and Voodoo, none of it. So
Me neither.
I get the Dixie. What's it called?
Regular one.
the
Yeah.
regular
The
Dixie
regular
beer?
one, yeah.
I've had the regular
get
one
that.
before.
Yeah, I do get that. Here in Illinois.
We can't get it anymore.
Easy IPA. Oh, they're getting into the New England IPA scene there. Nice. 6.5. Oh wow, 6.8%.
That's pretty high alcohol for a.
Here's the last one.
Ooh, Crimson Voodoo. Raspberry.
What's bumpy shit?
Wow. Now that one sounds
What's bumpy shit? What's
like a
bumpy shit
treat right
tomorrow?
there.
Dunkel? Bumpy shit?
Dunkel.
Or Bumpy's Dunkel. Okay, all right. I don't know.
What's the ABV on that one, Ron?
Five
5.2. Okay.
Yeah,
Pretty nice, huh? I got the 12-pack for $18.99. Had the different varieties in it. The 6-pack of the dice was $5.49.
I don't think I can find a fucking Dunkel.
I don't think anybody outside of Louisiana can find any of those yet. More than likely, because they just
because the only place I can go right now is the grocery store, and I don't think
right.
I don't think Dunkels are there. Not sure, but I would bet my life that they're not there.
Yeah, no, they'll probably never show up in Georgia. I can get Dixie in Alabama now at certain stores Win Dixie, ironically, Win Dixie grocery stores in Alabama sell
not Dixie, the Dunkels.
If you can get Erdinger, you can get Erdinger Dunkel. Maybe well, it could be hard right now. Yeah, it could be a difficult thing right now.
Yeah, I mean,
we got Mr. Sut here as well.
Of course I could.
Morning, Sut.
All I can buy beer from is
Good morning.
grocery store.
So, Kyle, you want to give us a quick breakdown of one of those 2 beers?
Yeah.
We're kind of just going free for all today. We didn't really.
I don't know. If this is
anything goes.
Is this a stout?
He's just
it's a stout seltzer.
You know he's putting you on.
Stout
Hey,
seltzer.
look,
All right,
there's Ronald Sutton.
I like
Morning.
it. I like it.
Good morning.
Good. No, I got. I don't know. I used to do beer reviews. That's how I got started on this shit. But
Yeah. The seltzer, I will say, I've had the seltzers, and I like the Natural Light ones the best because the alcohol, you get more bang for your buck with the 6%, but the alcohol is masked really well. You don't pick up on any alcohol at all.
But like when I started doing beer reviews, it was the seltzers. Not goddamn, I'm drunk. When I started doing beer reviews back in the day, I used to smoke bongs with all my beer reviews. And
that helps.
My ex-girlfriend threatened to call it my job on.
Let me say one.
But anyways,
okay. Here is something that has been destroying the competition. I could not get over it. These taste challenges have been nothing.
Blue Label.
Yeah, They have not been a challenge. This thing, John, especially John, because I know you're into whiskey, it has been destroying the competition. It is unbelievable.
Ron,
Should.
what's the price on the Blue Label though? How much does it cost?
$250.
I'm kind of, huh?
I would guess $250.
I'm reluctant to.
No, you can tell us.
Probably like more.
I got it for two. No, I bought this. It's a glass. It's blue glass tulip. It was $229. After I paid tax, after tax, it was $242. I think $242 after.
I was pretty close.
Now the stuff that you're comparing it with in your Dawn Busters, how much do those bottles cost in comparison?
About $35 bottle.
Okay, so if it doesn't,
That's not
wipe
comparable.
them out, then we have other problems.
That's not comparable. You
Right.
can't compare that shit. I mean, that stuff.
And that's
Sut's got some. What are you drinking? What do you have, Sut? Is that the Michter or Weiser's oldest Canadian?
18 years old. 18-year-old.
Wow.
That's how old I am. Plus 18 years.
It's got a hollow bottle. It's got like an island cavity in the bottom of the bottle.
Oh wow.
Very cool.
I'd like to try that one day.
This is the shit, buddy. If you can ever find this, I don't care what they charge. Buy it.
Was it expensive? Was that bottle expensive, Sut?
If you're on a budget, there's what you drink.
Hams.
Right.
Well, fuck yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Is it going to be the tiebreaker on the beer challenge?
That's a good question. I think William Kepley is going to do. Is it Bush, Ron? Was it Bush beer or?
Okay, wait. We got a little problem. All right. Here's the problem. I'm gonna have to do Thunder and Thursday this Thursday because of Friday probably not going to work out. So that could be a schedule conflict. I'm going to try, or maybe y'all could talk to William about either delaying it a week or doing it on Tuesday. Otherwise, I'll probably just have to
send a link. I got to find out how to figure to get on his broadcast. I'm Miss Michael's facial expression when he tried that.
It's what the ABV is.
Yeah, but he's trying to figure out how to get on the link. But I think
today I posted the link in the chat so I know that's how Sut joins. Do you have a Gmail account?
But there's other people that have asked. Like,
right, but you could add.
Kepley has a channel. I was like, yes. What's the ABV?
What's the ABV?
Right.
Yeah, and like there's other people that have asked about it. So
we should have.
I wasn't saying you can just type that in and like get it, but like
we should be having Pabst Blue Ribbon versus
Coors Banquet.
Coors Banquet coming up.
I thought it was Budweiser versus Miller High Life.
No, Budweiser lost.
Yeah, but I thought it was third
to Coors.
place.
So Budweiser lost to Coors, and Miller High Life lost to Pabst. So now you have Pabst and
Coors.
Thank you. in the final initial round.
Somebody told me it was Budweiser versus High Life.
No, that would be the consolation. That's the consolation.
That would be like a consolation bracket. Those were the two losers.
Oh,
and then we got Bush.
I thought we were doing third place. I don't know.
We are. Well, that's what I said. A consolation.
Oh well, fucking Thomas Metal told me it was Budweiser versus Miller High Life.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't necessarily. Well, never mind.
I don't trust that son of a bitch.
Well, you guys, I'll tell you what. We'll go ahead and take this off air, so we can chat a little bit more.
That's fine. I'll leave. It's okay.
No, don't leave. We're just gonna take it off air. We've all given our ratings for our stouts, all A's. So good stuff again today. Thanks to everybody in the chat for watching. Thanks to Michael, Ron, Sut, Al, for joining, and we will see you all on the next one. Cheers. Everybody stay safe and have a good rest of your weekend.
Eric told me it was Budweiser versus Miller High Life. I guess he
You're probably talking about the
Crown.
consolation round.